Mystery acquisition. What's inside this suspiciously cheap, flooded shipping container? The intrigue begins. This isn't just scrap, this is a challenge. Alex wasn't interested in routine cargo. As a marine salvage expert with a background in ancient history, she specialized in the odd, the overlooked, and the officially lost. Her latest acquisition was a low-key, suspiciously cheap auction lot from a major port. A single 40-foot shipping container labeled water damage, unrecoverable goods. The price was negligible, reflecting the perceived total loss. The container had been sitting in the tidal flats for over a year after an offshore barge accident. The exterior was a disaster, thick with rust, barnacles, and green algae. It was clearly flooded, with visible waterline stains running halfway up the sides. The weight was immense, suggesting it was full of something dense, but the internal records were deliberately vague, miscellaneous industrial goods. Alex's intuition, the core driver for any successful salvage operation, told her the vague records were a deliberate cover-up. The locking mechanism was not standard. It was a highly specialized, tamper-proof military seal, which had been broken violently, likely by the accident itself. Initial inspection. Show the exterior, the rust, the water stains. Build anticipation for the interior reveal. Why would anyone go to such lengths to hide industrial goods? Her motivation was simple, a wild speculation driven by a gut feeling. Any container with military-grade seals and vague documentation that ends up lost is usually hiding something exponentially more valuable than its recorded contents. Alex saw past the rust and water damage. She saw a sealed vault. Back at her secure dockside yard, the moment of reveal was tense. Using heavy machinery, she cut the locking bars. The massive door groaned open, releasing a tidal wave of foul-smelling, brackish water and mud. Once drained, the interior was exposed. It was not industrial goods. The container was a customized, double-walled shell. The interior was lined with ancient, thickwood planks, and the space was filled with layers of heavy, waterlogged sacks and burlap. At the center, protected by the dense packing material, sat a massive, unmistakable object, a large, ornately carved stone sarcophagus. Imagine buying a flooded shipping container, expecting rust and a mess, but instead you find something ancient, something that shouldn't be there. What if this muddy, waterlogged box held a secret from centuries ago, a relic that could rewrite history? Get ready, because what we pulled from the deep will absolutely blow your mind. Alex had not found scrap, she had found a relic. The carving style was clearly pre-Columbian Mesoamerican, and appeared to be Maya or Olmec, a civilization known for its astronomical precision. The object was covered in fine silt, but the scale and intricacy of the carving suggested it was a royal tomb or a critical ceremonial object. The military seals and the vague documentation were a perfect camouflage for an illicit, high-stakes trade in stolen artifacts. Hold on right there. Alex just discovered a massive Maya sarcophagus inside a submerged shipping container. The level of secrecy and the history behind this is immense. You cannot miss the reveal of what lies within the tomb. Hit that subscribe button now and give this video a like. We need your help to decipher this centuries-old secret. Comment below. What is the most valuable secret this sarcophagus could hold? Let's dive into the mystery. The discovery immediately shifted the operation from salvage to archaeology. Alex meticulously documented the entire container's interior, treating it as a primary excavation site. The surrounding burlap sacks were filled with dense, water-saturated sand, used as improvised packing material to protect the heavy stone object during transport, a surprisingly low-tech method for such high-stakes cargo. The sarcophagus itself was massive, carved from a single piece of dark volcanic stone. Cleaning revealed intricate carvings detailing astronomical alignments, complex calendrical systems, and a depiction of a figure holding a unique angular object. This was not just a tomb, it was a detailed astronomical record. Alex, with her historical background, identified the object as belonging to the classic Maya period, c. 600 to 900 CE. The rarity of an intact, full-size sarcophagus was astounding. The rarity of one found in a modern shipping container was criminal. She immediately secured the site and contacted a trusted contact at a major university's Department of Archaeology, bypassing official government channels, until she could ascertain the artifact's true origin and vulnerability. The archaeologist, Dr. Ben Carter, arrived undercover and was stunned. He focused on the figure depicted in the carvings, a Maya king, Kuk Mo, founder of a major dynasty. But the king was holding a non-standard object, a small, smooth sphere with precise geometric markings, an item that did not fit the known Maya repertoire of ceremonial objects. The key to the mystery lay in the lid of the sarcophagus. It was not sealed with mortar, but with a highly specialized, mineral-based epoxy that had survived the submersion. The artifact smugglers hadn't opened it. Using specialized thermal tools to soften the epoxy, Alex and Dr. Carter managed to lift the massive stone lid. Inside, the sarcophagus was lined with lead sheeting, creating a secondary, sealed vault that had successfully kept the salt water out. The interior was dry and filled with a fine, ochre-colored powder. Beneath the powder lay the final astonishing reveal, not skeletal remains, but a dazzling collection of artifacts, including jade death masks, obsidian tools, and most importantly, a complex, segmented brass instrument covered in interlocking, movable rings. It was a sophisticated astronomical calculator or astrolabe, far too advanced for the 7th century CE. The relic was a blend of known Maya art and an impossible technology. The discovery of the brass astrolabe immediately drew the attention of the FBI art crime team and the Department of Homeland Security, brought in by Dr. Carter. The sarcophagus and its contents were identified as artifacts stolen 4 years earlier from an unrecorded site deep in the Guatemalan jungle, a high-stakes theft linked to a powerful international smuggling cartel known as the Acolytes. The Acolytes were not just stealing art, they were hunting specific, undocumented artifacts of immense scientific value. The astrolabe was the key. Scientific analysis confirmed the instrument's components were centuries older than the Maya civilization itself, and its design principles referenced complex orbital mechanics that shouldn't have been understood until the Renaissance. The astrolabe was a scientific anomaly, proving contact or knowledge transfer between civilizations across vast chronological gaps. The artifact was truly priceless, capable of rewriting several chapters of human history. The discovery immediately placed Alex and Dr. Carter in danger. The Acolytes were actively tracking the container, which served as a perfectly camouflaged holding vault. The military seals were not camouflage. They were the cartel's own security measures. The true breakthrough came from the sarcophagus's stone. Embedded within the volcanic stone's inner face was a series of barely visible, micro-etched geometric symbols, invisible to the naked eye. Alex recognized the symbols as a highly specialized form of geographical code related to seismic anomalies. Working feverishly, Alex and Dr. Carter deciphered the code. It pointed to a remote, stabilized sinkhole location in the Yucatan Peninsula, the Acolyte's final, secure holding vault. The entire sarcophagus, with its complex carvings and coded etchings, was the master map for the cartel's entire stolen inventory. The Acolytes hadn't finished unpacking. They were using the tomb itself as a decoy and map. The FBI mobilized a covert team, using the deciphered coordinates to locate and raid the Acolytes' main vault. The raid was successful, recovering billions of dollars in stolen artifacts, jewels, and undocumented historical documents. Alex's purchase of the scrap container had dismantled a global criminal network. The recovery of the astrolabe, the sarcophagus, and the billions in other stolen artifacts was hailed as the largest historical asset recovery operation in decades. The astrolabe was analyzed by a global consortium of scientists, its impossible design leading to paradigm shifts in fields ranging from astrophysics to material science. Alex's integrity in reporting the find and her technical skills in preserving the artifacts were deemed indispensable. Under international salvage and historical heritage laws, she was entitled to a massive reward. The complexity of the reward was based not on the market price of the assets, which were returned to their respective countries, but on the avoided historical loss and the dismantling of the criminal network. The final compensation package, consolidated from the U.S. government, Interpol, and various national heritage funds, totaled an incredible $55 million US. Alex had turned a $100 gamble into a generational fortune. The sarcophagus of Kinich Yak's Cook M.O. and the impossible astrolabe were returned to the Guatemalan government and placed on permanent, public display under the highest security. Alex used the funds to establish the Deep Dive Heritage Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to ethical, non-invasive marine and geological salvage, with a specialty in artifact preservation. The original rusted shipping container was meticulously preserved and displayed on the Foundation's headquarters dock, a permanent reminder that history's greatest secrets are often disguised as the cheapest scrap. The story of the submerged purchase proves that the greatest value is often found beneath the surface, protected by layers of rust and deception. For Alex, the marine expert, the ultimate prize was not the money, but the privilege of being the one to pull a lost piece of human history back from the depths. If you want to uncover more stories of unimaginable historical finds, make sure you hit that subscribe button now and join us for the next great excavation.